And welcome to, I guess, a new podcast. And no, I don't see a picture yet. He has no picture. If we have audio, I guess that's more important.
Audio, right? Let's see what we got here. Let's see.
Where did you go?
There we go.
Oh, there we are. Hey.
I think it's working.
First time for everything. Are you live?
I believe so. Let's just check the group real quick.
Okay. While he's checking the group,
there we go. We are live.
Talk. And so today we're at WRPB Studios, and I'm with Nick from Port St. Lucie Business Club. You know what? I always call it Port St. Lucie Business Connection.
Some people call it the Port St. Lucie Club.
Okay.
They forget the business.
The reason I call it what I call it is because if you go there, just know you're going to connect. Okay? And that's what we're all about. I looked at. So I looked at it as, hey, I'm going to join the Port St. Lucie Business Connection because every time I go there, I connect with somebody. Okay? It's not a club med,
Connection is the best way to describe what we do. I think if we had to pick one word, that is what it is all about.
So I remember you came here and you did a video with me, and at that day, I remember you talking about how you just started Port St. Lucie Business Club, and you had a whole 45 members. Do you remember that?
Those were the early days.
Right. Well, we're still early days.
We are still pretty early. It's that was about 8 months ago.
Is it 8 months?
So it's been 8 months. Now we have 3,200 members.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, and I go because one is I believe always you should be supporting everybody. And we see each other at different networking things because we support. And we like most people. Well, you like everybody. But I'm not you. So I don't have to like everybody. I like a lot of people. So tell me, what gave you the idea to do Port St. Lucie Business Club?
So for the Port St. Lucie Business Club, really the whole idea just came from the fact that I was looking for a Facebook group for local businesses to connect. And back then, me not really knowing much about what was going on in the community or where to find such a group, I couldn't find anything like it. So I said, let's create one. And I never expected us to do in-person events. I never expected us to really grow beyond maybe 200 members. And so we've just been sort of going with the flow and seeing where it takes us.
And you didn't know what you were getting yourself into.
Right. Got into
okay.
quite a lot. Yeah.
So I missed the first, I guess, in-person networking at the Crepe Place. Mm-hmm. But I went to the second one, and I'm like, I was ready to turn around because one block on Gatlin and Port St. Lucie Boulevard to get the one block to where you're...
There's a lot of construction over there, for sure.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
I hated it. But ironically enough, I went and I had a good time, and I actually won a penis pillow. But I kept mine. Most people who win it...
Christina, yeah, there's a story there if you attend some of our events.
Yeah, but you got to understand, she does it really for the right reason.
Yeah.
And she's a comedian, so I get it. But most of the guys who win it are for some reason embarrassed. And I was trying to figure out why they're embarrassed. It's not like you have to wear it outside.
Some do. I've seen some people walk out with it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Those are my kind of people. The ones that are willing to have people to laugh with them and about them is always the best. All right, so you start this thing. Actually, the day after your event, I had St. Lucie Lanes come in. Mm-hmm. And I said, let me go over there and see what you got. Not thinking of the business club. And then when I got there, I was like, oh, my God, this is perfect. I got to talk to Nick.
Yeah.
So you did 2 events there.
Yep.
2 very successful events.
Yeah, they've been some of our best events so far. Yeah.
Because the parking, and it's easy to get to, and the parking is plenty. Okay? The parking is plenty. So what's the future, in your opinion, at this point? Because you never expected it to be where it is.
Right.
What do you think the future is going to be?
Well, we're going to definitely continue to do events. We've, I think, gotten better, but we still have a ways to go with the type of event experience that we want to deliver in Port St. Lucie. We're going to continue to try to make it more of a regular thing with our morning events. Right now, we try to do one morning event and one evening event
which is perfect.
Every month. Yeah. We also want to start doing workshops. So we do these live streams where we try to educate pretty much anyone who wants to join us on different business topics, and we want to bring a physical version of that to Port St. Lucie, where we'd have workshops where it's interactive somewhere around town where people can learn about marketing, business, finance, the skills that they need to run their business. So between the workshops, the live streams, the in-person networking events, and then the actual group that's the core of where we collaborate and communicate and discuss different things. That really is the essence of where we're at and where we want to go.
I hate to say it, but I can. People are foolish because they come to your networking thing and you say, join Port St. Lucie Business Club. It costs zero.
Right.
Okay. It's like zero.
Right.
And you still have to chase them sometimes to join.
Some people are not Facebook people, and that's definitely something that I wasn't expecting, I guess, when we started it, is that there's a lot of people who are not on Facebook, and that's where most of the activity happens in our group. That's where we have 3,200 members. So if you're not on Facebook, you do miss out on a large part of that experience, and that's why we're also launching the newsletter, which we're sort of close to getting that out there on a regular basis. But that's another opportunity to try to get people engaged and to know what's happening and to know what networking events are going on, not just ours, but all across the Treasure Coast. If they're not on Facebook, they can get all that information in the newsletter.
Yeah. Well, you don't have enough on your plate, so you should be adding some more.
Right.
But what was really cool is, I'm part of Stuart Martin Chamber, and you even posted their breakfast on
absolutely
things that are happening.
Yeah.
And
we always include the Stuart Martin Chamber. Yeah.
And we go to spam together.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you do these things to educate people, then today, one of the things we should talk about is networking.
Yeah.
And how important it is to be consistent about your networking.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't just go to one event and say, I've been there, they saw me, that's it. Don't work that way.
Right.
Now, what do you find? Because now you've been networking around town. What do you find works for you?
It's a really good question. I think networking is definitely, there's an art and there's a science to it, and I'm still learning the ropes as I go. But I would definitely say the most important tips that I would give to someone is, first of all, when you go to a networking event, don't make it about yourself. Try to ask questions of whoever it is that's in front of you. Don't just do the business pitch of, this is what I do, here's my business card. Ask questions and see how you can become a good referral partner. That's number one. Number two is do some type of follow-up afterwards. This is something I learned from Ben John, who's been on your show many times. He does a video follow-up with people. He'll send a video. So try to do a video, do an audio follow-up, a voice note on iMessage or Messenger. That's going to make such a difference, and people are going to remember it. And then the third thing is take photos when you're out at these networking events and share them, because that's not only beneficial for you, but it's also beneficial for who's in the photo, because you're helping expose them to a new network. So between those three things, making it about the other person, doing a follow-up that's voice or video, and then taking photos when you're out, I think those are the most important tenets that I would have for how to improve your networking game. But I'd love to hear some from you, because you've done a lot more networking than me.
I'm going to tell you the one most important to me.
Yeah.
But before I do that, I want to talk about Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben came in here, and I couldn't make heads or tails of him, but the more I listened to him, the wiser he started to sound.
He's a very smart guy.
He's a really smart guy, and he's a really impressive dad.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't get much better than that. Okay? And that means his daughter is going to be an amazing entrepreneur.
Yes.
Okay? But
and I believe she already is. She has several businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
And how old is she?
I'm not sure, but she's definitely ahead of her league.
Okay,
in the entrepreneurial space.
I'll go with she's around 10, maybe 11, maybe. Smart girl, and he's just seems to me to be a great dad.
Yeah.
Okay, getting off of Ben issue. Let's talk about the most important tip for networking. Not that yours weren't important.
Mm-hmm.
Starts with, if the meeting starts at 8 o'clock, you should be there at 7:30, because the trick to networking is to have the space to talk to the people.
Right.
And once the event starts, it's very hard to get someone and pin them aside.
Yeah.
So if the event is 7:45, I get there at 7:30, and as they're coming in, that's when I talk to them, because they're not being pulled in a million directions. Plus, when it gets crowded, I get claustrophobic. So I'm like, I'll stand on the outside. But that 15 minutes extra, 20 minutes extra that I get with these people is amazing.
Yeah, that's where the real networking happens.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's right. During the event, for lack of a better word, everybody, if it's a morning event, everybody's listening to one, to the other, and everybody's talking about what they do and doing their commercials or whatever. You can't get, it's not like, hey, I'm Bill from Bill's Bagels. Well, you can't sit across in another spot and say, well, tell me about Bill's Bagels. You got to hope you get enough. But when they come in the door and you say, hey, I'm Wayne, WRPB, who you? They say, yeah, I have Bill's Bagels. And you can talk for a couple minutes.
That's important.
Which is so important. The other important thing for me, okay, is to bring, as you meet people, bring them to other people.
Yeah.
So that they know that you're not, it's not you being selfish and being about you, but just about you. I don't know if you notice at Spam, I'm pretty laid back. Okay. I don't sing, I don't dance, I don't tell poems, I don't dance, I don't do any of that stuff. I go there to tell what I do, okay, and to do business. And I'm not just saying my business, I'm saying everybody's business. I like to see other people succeed because it's how I succeed. And I think the other tip is when you deal with someone and do business with them, whether you do it with them or they do it with you, one of the best things you could do for them or them for you is testimony.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So if you get a pest control, we'll talk about Pete, because Pete does my pest control. I testimony him because he does good. The problem or the negative, and we're talking about the spam event now, in my opinion, is when we go around doing testimony, they testimony A, B, C, D, E, which dilutes it, makes it.
Well, there's a lot. Yeah,
no
there's
value.
A lot of business going on in the shameless. And for anyone who's not familiar with what we're talking about, that shameless promotion and muffins known as Spam. It's a fantastic networking group that meets every single Wednesday at 8:15 a.m. at the PSL Community Center.
But I think, and I know that there's some great people there, but sometimes you should cut your testimonies down to 2, maybe 3 people. Because if you're doing 10 or 8 people, you're diluting.
It can get long-winded.
And it's
diluting.
diluting.
Sort of lose the message. Yeah.
Yeah, like this person, like that person, like this. It loses, in my opinion, it loses its value.
It's a good point.
So, and over the years, these are the things that I learn and I listen to. And I think the other thing is, and we mentioned this, is continuity and consistency.
Yep.
Okay? In marketing and advertising, it's all about consistency. Okay? So you can't make, and it's a seesaw effect because you can't make one post and then not do anything for 2 months.
Right.
But you can't make 16 posts a day either. Okay? Unless they're stupid posts. That's something you're sharing for some other comedian. But if you're doing something business-wise, you really want to do what you have to say. And there are some prime times that I found out to post, which is 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6:30 p.m.
Interesting.
Okay? So they seem to be the best times, in my opinion, to promote. But, I mean, lastly, the thing you want to do, or the thing you don't ever want to do in business is post anything political. Because half the people will hate you.
Yeah, we've had to implement a no politics rule in our group. These are just all the things you don't think about when you start a Facebook group and then it starts to get traction. All the rules, and I hate being that guy. Oh, we had to create another rule, but it's true. It creates, no matter what side you're on, it creates divisiveness, and there's plenty of groups for that already.
Right.
So we just have a very clear, simple, no politics rule in the group. We want to keep it focused on businesses, events, nonprofits, things like that. And
what really good about what you did was you broke it up into Monday Madness.
Yeah, we have different themes. And, going back to what you talked about with testimonials, we actually just changed our schedule a little bit. So we have Motivation Monday. That's always been. But now, instead of having what we're calling Tactical Tuesday, we changed it to Testimonial Tuesday, because testimonials are that important that we want to give our members a space every single week on Tuesday to post a testimonial from someone else in the group and to tag them. So in all the feedback I've gotten, that is more beneficial than if we were to just post a business tip, which what we were doing on Tuesdays, called Tactical Tuesday. So now it's Testimonial Tuesday. It starts tomorrow in the group.
And I get it, because we were talking before we got in there, and the times I don't ever miss spam is when someone's been in the studio, either the day before or the week before, and I know that they had a great time, and I'm going to get testimony.
Right.
Because I think that's so important. When people come on and I do like their monthly videos or whatever, I make sure they bring in 3, 4, 5 people to do a minute, 90-second testimony.
That's important.
And then I put them all together.
Yeah.
Testimony is so, so important. And then the other thing that's important, and I don't follow, but because I don't follow doesn't make I do it the right way, is you should never talk negative about anybody else. Okay. Now I need to learn how to do that, but I'm like my mom was. I'm old, so I have no filter.
Right.
But I don't do it. I won't post it.
Yeah.
Okay. But if something is wrong, I need people to know. Okay. So if someone signs a contract here, okay, and then breaks their contract, will I post it? No. But when I see someone face to face, I will tell them, because I don't want anybody else.
You don't want them to get in the same situation.
In that situation. I'm about to do a $9,000 lawsuit, a breach of contract to somebody.
Jeez.
Okay. Right. But this is what happens when you're in business. Okay. Now, I remember the day where someone would owe me $200 and I'd spend $400 chasing them.
Yeah.
Trying to get to 200. It's not like I need it. It's not that I don't want the money, because we have bills to pay, but it's not that I need the money. So I'm okay helping other people out. All I ask for is honesty.
Right.
Tell me, hey, you know what? Couldn't pay my mortgage. Things are tight. My husband lost a job. My wife lost a job. Whatever. I'll live with that.
I think a lot of business owners can relate to that, especially now with the economic conditions. We actually have some live guests. We have Sammy. You know Sammy Brinkley.
No, don't know Sammy. Sammy, I don't know you.
Sammy, thank you for joining us. We have Oksana, who joined us at the Walk Around Tradition recently.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, if anyone has questions, post just to give a quick update of what we're actually doing here. We're doing a live stream with Wayne from WRPB Studios. This is the first time we've actually done a live stream with the business club that's on location. So we're trying to do different things. We've been doing a monthly live stream where it is basically over Zoom, but now this is the first time where we're doing it over in the studio. So
I don't want Sammy to get mad at me. Yes, Sammy, I love you. Don't worry about it. I just said that, and
Sammy's a great guy.
Sammy's a really
Y'all
good
should
guy.
come out to the walk around tradition that Sammy does every single Saturday. It was at 8:30. Now it's at 8 o'clock, so we can get started earlier, get on with our day quicker. I'll be there this Saturday. It's in tradition. We meet in the Panera Bread parking lot. You can do 1 lap. You can do 3. It's a great time to just get some fitness and some networking in. It's organized by Sammy, so you can go connect with him on Facebook for all the details, or just show up 8 a.m. this Saturday in the Panera parking lot in tradition.
And you can hop out from there when it's over. You can hop over to the bagel place.
Get some bagels.
Yep. You get some
So you did.
So that's what I did.
Right.
And I think I met Danny there.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny said hi after you do this walk
told
around.
us he saw you. Yeah.
And he's out getting bagels. But that's the best bagel place.
It's wonderful.
And I would do, the problem for me is I only have 60% lung function. So if it's really human, the walking would be brutal.
It's quite a workout. Even walking, it can get.
How far is it?
3.5 miles, right, Sammy? I believe it's 3.5 miles in total when it's all said and done.
It's like almost a mile each way?
I think it's a little over a mile all the way around the lake in tradition, because we start at Panera and we walk all the way around Tradition Square. So it's pretty intense.
And you do 3 laps?
You can do up to 3. Some folks will join us for 1 lap. Some will go for 2. But we sort of do 3 as the what we shoot for.
That's because they're young. Those young people could do that stuff. So, getting back to some tips about networking.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, I think and everybody's different. Like, one-on-ones for me is not a thing I do.
Really?
Yeah. And
because a lot of people I talk to, they love doing one-on-ones and they try to work them into their schedule.
It because their one-on-ones are someone coming in here and me doing an interview. So me talking to them is my one-on-one when they're in here. You know, you have to understand, you've been here. My interviews are not just about them. My interviews are about life in general and things I've been through. We're not Channel 5, 12, or 25. I call it living room conversation.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us a little more? Because we're going to have a lot of people watch the replay of this, and they're probably sitting there wondering, well, what is WRPB Studios? If you've met me personally at a network event, you've probably heard me talk about Wayne, and I say, get down to the studio, do an interview. I've done two interviews already. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I tell everyone that. But for anyone who's not familiar with WRPB Studios, in a nutshell, what is the opportunity for business owners here?
Okay, so what we do is a backwards business model. No professional business person would say this is the way you should do it. But basically, we invite people in to do a free interview. It airs the following Thursday and goes away, just like TV would do. We give them the opportunity to purchase a copy for their own marketing. If they purchase the copy, it goes up and stays up. And I have one of the channels we manage has about 16,500 people. And that's the channel that will go up and stay on. And I recommend, and I send out a bunch of emails so it has some views over and above. And I recommend they use the link. Even though they'll get the file, they'll use the link. But what I tell people is come in, schedule to come in and do a free interview. When you're done, because of technology, as soon as you're done, you'll be able to walk into one of our other rooms and watch what you did.
Yeah.
Okay, and then decide if it's something you want or you don't want. But why would you, in a business, why would you not want to do a free interview? Even if you don't buy it, it's still going to air.
Right.
So why wouldn't you want to do it?
It's a good opportunity. And it's also just a good way of perfecting or getting better at public speaking. Because it can be kind of intimidating. It's a full studio setup. It's definitely, it gives you the sense that, you're at like a news studio where you have to think about what you're going to say. And it could be a good opportunity for people who, even if you're uncomfortable with public speaking, right? Because it can help you get better.
People have come on, and when I shook their hand, it was like the ocean was in their hand. I sweated. But they always leave here happy.
Yeah.
Because it's so laid back. I call it living room conversation. It's really just about having a good time. Yeah. Otherwise, don't come here to do it.
Right.
Okay? If you're going to be upset about it or negative about it, don't come here to do it. We want you to be comfortable. We boast the highest tech studio on the Treasure Coast that's privately owned. There are a bunch. First of all, the facts are, everybody with a cell phone today is a videographer, a photographer,
a reporter,
and a talk show host. Okay, so when I started 30-something years ago, this industry didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Okay, I was a pioneer for Skype and Zoom. They didn't exist. What you're doing now, okay, didn't exist.
I'm surprised you even got this working, because to give you a behind the scenes, like I come in here, this is the first time we were going to do an on-set live stream on location, and you made it work.
Well, don't look at me.
Your tech team brought it together and got it working.
So I say, if it wasn't for Edgar, we would not be where we're at. Yeah. But if I give Edgar free reign, we would rival CBS.
Right.
But we'd be poor.
You'd have all the equipment in the world.
Right. But we would be poor. But, it's amazing. Like, I'll say, hey, could this be done? And he'll figure out a way to get it done.
Yep.
And it's not like this was a planned thing.
Right.
So he might have had an idea in the back of his mind, but he could be sitting here, but I don't know that he knew exactly the way
just figured it out, made it work.
Come down, okay, to start. So we were, I'm very lucky that we have that scenario. The place we're sitting now used to be my office, with nice, big, spacious, and then Edgar threw me out of this office and gave me a little closet in the back for my office, okay, and this became a podcast room, and everything that you see in here, Edgar put together.
Yeah.
Okay? He took my great red colors, painted over them, okay? Moved my desk around, redid the walls, redid all the wiring. It just is a blessing when you have a team like we have, okay? Edgar and I have the best team, and sometimes it's not about the number of people you have, but it's about the quality of people
exactly.
you have.
You got to have a good team.
Right, and that's what's important. But back to networking for a second.
We do have a question, though,
Okay.
from Oksana. Can everyone participate in the free interview?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
It's
you got to
simple.
do is either email me or call me. You can go to WRPB Studios on Facebook. You can go to Wayne Filowitz on Facebook. I'm there. I'm probably on everybody's friends list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, anybody can come in and do a free interview. You just got to schedule it. Not a problem. So, but back to, because I'm old and I forget things.
Networking tips.
Yeah,
Yep.
go back to networking again. You mentioned what you do. So you do one night event a month.
Mm-hmm.
You do one breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
and then you did. Is Galaxy Golf or Golf Galaxy a breakfast?
That would be our morning event. Yeah, so we just think of it as a morning event versus an
But you
evening
do
event.
Boulevard Hair.
That's a morning event. Yeah, so we move around. We're trying to be different in the sense that it's not always the same day of the week or day of the month, because there's a lot of events out there that are like that, and that's fine. Where it's like the second Tuesday of every month. We want to sort of change things around, give people different opportunities, because sometimes we'll have it on a Thursday, sometimes it'll be on a Tuesday. We want to change the way people think about networking events, but what's consistent is we try to do one morning event and one evening event every month. We keep our morning events free. We charge $10 for our evening events, and we try to keep it all
Charge $10.
located.
Why would you do that?
I know, because you recommended it, and I was like, I don't want to charge. But it ended up being a great way for us to
Stay in business doing this.
improve what we can
All right.
deliver as well, because I believe we're now able to provide more value for that $10. You get a drink ticket, you get free appetizers, we have photo booths, we have games, like all that stuff. There's a cost to it, which, if you want to make money, do not get into networking events.
But there's a cost to it. But you can't. Okay, you can't buy 2 slices of pizza
Yeah.
and a drink for $10 today.
Mm-hmm. And make valuable business connections.
Okay,
And go check
And there
out the
was
photo
crepe
booth from 3C
and
Elements.
photo booth. There was so many. And what about all the giveaways?
Yeah, we have door prizes. We had games to play.
Just so you know, none of this would happen if it wasn't for his wife.
Yes,
Just saying.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, Michelle is the powerhouse behind the scenes. She refers
Okay.
to herself as check-in lady because she's running the check-in booth at our events.
But it's interesting that the reason it's successful is because it's family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think family, if you do things with family, your chances of succeeding is going to be far greater. And I've seen you go through transition, because I remember checking in with iPads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened
that
there.
didn't work. That was it too slow, too cumbersome. So we
Okay.
simplified the process.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you could also pay online.
Yeah, so now we have, you could pay at the door, you could pay online, cash, credit. We try to make it as easy as possible, and we actually learn from each event, and we're
Right.
collecting all this data and trying to figure out what can we do better next time.
Okay, so we have to get into this before we run out of time. So we were talking about tips on networking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you my tip on networking that I'm super strong about.
Okay.
If you belong to a one-off network, okay, you don't sit well in my mind, because I can't understand there's enough business for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And why wouldn't you want to work with somebody in your industry? We coined the phrase co-opetition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a photographer and there's another photographer, who cares? Maybe on a Sunday the 21st, you have an event and someone else calls you, no, I can't help you. Well, maybe you can. Maybe you can give it to somebody
Right.
else, okay? And they're going to refer back to you because they're going to fall in the same position. Why would you want to be where there aren't people in the same industry that you can learn from, okay, and work with? It's so important to me to work with other people in the same industry.
Yeah.
You talk to Barry and Mark?
Yeah,
You're friends with Barry and Mark?
absolutely.
Why? They do the same thing you do.
They're great guys. For anyone who doesn't know Barry Mark, they run Shameless Promotions and Muffins,
Right,
the spam
but
group.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why would you not want to talk
Absolutely.
with them?
I'm
you know?
all for, I just posted about this the other day on Facebook. It's all about working together, collaborating.
Right.
There's plenty of business out there for everyone. I do, just to play devil's advocate, I see the benefit for why people like the one-of groups. But I think, if I wouldn't make that your first experience in networking. I would check out all the open groups. And just see what fits best for you, because it does work for some industries, but I also see your point that it can be restrictive at times. So it's it's a delicate topic.
Well, I like to work with other people
Yeah.
in my industry. We go to spam.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Charles Kaloya goes to spam.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people to use Charles
Right.
all the time. Okay? I can do what Charles does. Been doing it longer. And I've helped Charles, giving him leads, giving him some business. Why would I want to help the guy?
Right.
Okay? And he's a good guy. The problem with Charles is he's way smarter than me. And that's scary to me. He's extremely,
He's very
extremely
smart, yeah.
intelligent. Okay? And I'm still trying to figure out when he says sense makes sense, why do you
What
remember
that
that?
means.
I asked him 1,500 times, but he's never been able to give me that answer.
That's funny.
But spam has always been a good go-to.
It has. Yeah.
It's run well, it's reasonably priced,
Mm-hmm.
and the people there are just
Spam is great.
friends.
I think it's probably one of the best morning events. For evening events, if anyone has not been to Martini Network, Veronica's event, I think is a fantastic opportunity. You were at the last one at the Sneaky Tiki, right?
I used to go. I went to Veronica's events when she just started, 17 years ago or 15 years ago. I went one event in Fort Pierce that she had. I think there was 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can barely move.
Yeah.
There's 100 people, and she does a good job.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, and again, I know Veronica a long time, and she's another one that has. I don't know how she does it because she has a full plate. Cooking with V.
Yep.
Her event.
Mm-hmm. Nice Roofing.
And Nice Roofing.
Mm-hmm. And her other involvement with the chamber and with nonprofits. She's very busy. Yeah.
One busy woman.
Yeah.
And being busy is one thing, but being busy and doing what you do good
Doing a great job. Yeah.
is much more difficult.
Yeah. Check it
You
out.
know, I never thought I'd be on any boards. Now I sit on 4 boards. I'm learning a lot at a late age about being on a board and what you can get out of being on a board. And I did Martin County Leadership.
Yep.
And I didn't do it for networking, but it connected me with some amazing people. And I don't know if you guys know Dawn Liddy. She's the public defender for 32 years in Circuit 19. I've heard about her millions of times. Well, I met her through leadership, and she came on the air. She's probably one of the sweetest people you ever meet. And the first question I had to ask her was, people think when they're getting a public defender that they're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she is serious about doing her legal work.
Yeah, public defense. I did an internship with the Broward Public Defender's Office
Did
way
you?
back in the day. Yeah, like 10 years ago. And I saw firsthand what they do. That is a thankless job.
Right.
Some of them would have 200 cases at a time.
And she's doing it for 32 years.
Unbelievable.
So,
Yeah.
that was really kind of cool. I met them. I've met so many people through leadership. Plus, now I'm about to graduate, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was 10 months. I bucked doing it for 2 years. I finally spent the money and did it. And now that it's ending, I'm upset.
You're like, what's next?
Yeah.
Leadership 2, right?
Well, that's what we're talking about, doing a leadership too. That would be kind of cool for people who've been through leadership. Martin County leadership is probably, I don't want it to sound bad, but probably some of the toughest leadership.
Yeah.
Okay. It's much stricter than any others. Okay. There's days with no phones. They take them away from you.
Wow.
Okay. So
That's it. I wouldn't survive.
well, first of all, you can't take any pictures during leadership. Can't post anything.
Wow.
And you can't talk about it.
It's like Fight Club.
Right. Well, and I get it because you can't talk about it because if you weren't in it and you decide to join, they want you to immerse yourself in the experience.
Right.
And if you know about it, then it loses.
It
something.
devalues it. Yeah.
Right. So I had a great time. Like I said, graduation is coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to my next journey moving forward. And I guess when you get old like me, you get to do these things. I go to We Are Vero. Has
That's a fan. Steve, yeah.
So Steve,
We Are Vero. It's a luncheon every Wednesday, 11:45 a.m. Is it still at the Italian American Club?
It's at the Italian American Club.
That's
it's a good lunch.
I see Ezekiel joined us. I know he's a fan of. Hi, Ezekiel. I know he's a fan of We Are Vero. It's a fantastic organization. Steve does a great job, and it's a really good lunch. Believe it or not, it's not one of these crappy. I mean, it's a good Italian lunch.
You know, I met Steve years ago, about 10 years ago, and he would come here to support my stuff, and I would go support his stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a far, not that's such a
It's
far
a drive.
ride,
I would
but
get
it's
up
a
there more
drive.
if it wasn't so far for me from Port St. Lucie. But every
But
time
it's
I
in
go
the
up there,
middle of my day of working.
Yeah.
So if I have nothing to do on that Wednesday,
Yep.
I'll go to
Yeah.
support Steve. Okay? I like Steve. He's just a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as we talk about these people, these are great people that we met through networking.
Yeah.
Right.
We have some other folks here. Danny, Danny's here. Hey, what's up, Danny? For anyone who liked the last event that the Port St. Lucie Business Club had, you can thank Danny. That was his idea, doing the outdoor event in front of Cam's Pizza with the crepe place. So if it was up to me, we'd always just be in the same old boring location. So I really appreciate Danny.
Danny's there?
Danny's here. He's in the chat.
Why is he not here?
I know, right? He says he's waiting. He says,
Wait on what?
Wayne, your boy Danny is waiting, brother. Let's get this done.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to get your butt here. What's up with that? We've invited you.
Get on into the studio, Danny.
Yeah.
And then we have Ben from Ridgecap Roofing. He's here as well. What's
Hey,
up,
Ben.
That's another event we have to talk about real quick. Ben puts on an event with Miles McGrath, with Ridgecap Roofing, and with Leakbusters Roofing called Sales Training Cage Match.
Right.
Have you heard about that?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. It's every 2 weeks, I believe, on a Thursday, 7 p.m. on Oleander in Fort Pierce. It's
By
a fantastic
Leakbusters place,
way.
right?
What's that?
Leakbusters.
Yeah, it's the Leakbusters Training Center.
So
It's a
someone
great way to
posted a
learn.
picture of a guy and the back of the guy, and he had sweat on his back. So I said,
It gets pretty intense.
Probably too much work for me. I'm too old for that kind of stuff.
Overcoming objections, learning sales. It's a great way to get into the cage and actually overcome some of those objections.
Is it like, I guess it's tables around?
Yeah, it's like an octagon, and you get up there, and and there'll be like an objection. Hey, here's the setup. It's going to be so and so versus so and so. You're selling a roof. The objection is, I want to think about it. Go. And you just have to sort of figure out what you would say in that situation, and it's really good training.
Huh, interesting. You know, I'm trying now, because I used to do a lot of night events. I'm trying now not to do as many night events because I have a wife and I want to spend some time with her before she divorces me. But I go when I can. Like the chamber has their after hours, which is always cool. So I go there, and there it's $10 if you're in the chamber. It's $10. You get 2 drinks and appetizers. Okay.
We have to up our game over here. We're only giving out 1 drink ticket for our events.
Yes, but totally different area.
Yeah.
Okay. And yours is open to everybody.
Yes.
Ours is only open to chamber members. So, but if you work networking properly, you will walk away with some sales.
Yeah.
But better than that, you'll walk away with some great friends. And one that we didn't talk about was the third Friday of the month Speed Network.
Oh, yeah. It's Steamworks.
Okay.
Yep. 2:45, I believe. 2:45 p.m. Yep.
So I get there early, like I do everything, and I get myself lunch while I'm there. And Lisa was doing it. She couldn't do it this last one. So Pete did it.
From Goodfellas?
Yeah. And he did a
Nice.
good job.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. So he did a good job. But it's a very, for lack of a better word, it's kind of a very sedate event. Meaning it's not like you're going from table to table, just like speed
It's
dating
quick.
would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you only got, I think it's 7 minutes
Yeah.
each person. And some people stay at the table, some people move. Okay. But you make some great connections.
Yeah.
And again, you make Nada, which is a new company. I met them and they came in today. So you just never know who you're going to meet. Okay.
It's good. It's interesting, though, because I never realized when I started doing networking that there's so many different formats of networking events. There's speed networking, like you're talking about. There's the round robin, which is spam, where you get up, you say your 45-second pitch, and then you sit down. Then there's just the open mixer type, like we do. Then there's the more formal luncheons. Like there's actually a lot of formality and different formats, and it's an interesting world when you get into networking. You figure out all the nuances of it.
What I've learned is that if you're going to network, okay, one of the best things you can do is start off doing your breakfast networking. Because people aren't there drinking, okay? People are there to do business and then go to their job. Once you've done that and you've connected with people, then all the other networking is easy and great to do. Because then you know people, and if they're good people, they're going to introduce you to other people. like Amy at the chamber, she drags me. New person just joined the chamber. You got to meet them. Okay. I go to your event. You said, Wayne, did you talk to that person yet? Yep. Right. And that's really what makes networking work good for everybody.
Exactly.
Okay. The watch guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mariano.
The watch aficionado. Mm-hmm. So he came in today. Now I'm going to go by his place. Mm-hmm. I'll take some pictures because I'm kind of the go-to for everything. Everybody asks me where to go because I've been around a long time. And it's hard to say, hey, go see Mariano
you gotta
if
check
I don't
it
know
out.
what his place looks like.
It's a cool shop. Yeah, so it's the Watch Aficionado. He's in St. Lucie West. It's the only dedicated watch store in Port St. Lucie. He's got everything from Rolex to Hamilton to Citizen. They do repairs, replacement.
You got to say, he was in today.
Yeah.
You got to say Omega because you think Omega's a very good one. And he was right. He says, we buy a watch looking at the watch. Mm-hmm. He thinks of watches looking inside the watch. That's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Where we look at what it looks like. Now, what we wear here, like these are toys.
Apple. Yeah.
Okay. These are for counting our steps, checking our heart, whatever. But if you're going out on a fancy thing, you want to wear a nice watch.
Yeah.
That's his philosophy. For me, being a small guy, I'm only 5'2", a big watch doesn't work for me. Mm-hmm. I can't even button my sleeves. So I have a Movado. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a good watch.
It's really slim. Yeah. And I have, I don't know if it's rare, but I have a mother of pearl Movado because they don't make those very often. So I have one of those. And I'll wear that if I'm going out, as long as I'm with my wife, because, God forbid, I bought this watch because it has fall detection.
Okay.
Okay? So it's a Samsung 5. Yeah. If I fall, it'll call my wife, it'll call 911. And because I had the 2 strokes, that's why I wear it. Otherwise, I wouldn't wear it. But it's, the cool thing about it is if I'm talking to you and my wife decides to text me, I don't have to worry about you. I can look at my watch.
Right, yeah.
And not think about you.
I know. I notice some people, they'll do that, and then it'll be distracting to the other person because they think I'm checking the time. What time is it? No, I'm just checking a message.
But he said, Mariano said that a Timex at 8 o'clock is going to be the same 8 o'clock as a Rolex.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not that he has anything bad to say about Rolex. He said, but there are a lot less expensive watches.
There are.
That are as good.
I would go check out his Hamilton collection because Hamilton, I didn't even know this, they make watches that are from the movies. So if you've seen Interstellar, there's a watch in the movie, and he has that in the shop. You can buy a replica of it. It's called the Murph. Or if you've ever seen Men in Black, Hamilton makes a Men in Black watch, and he has that. So that was, to me, the most interesting part of when I visited the Watch Aficionado store was the Hamilton collection of all these watches from the movies.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't even know. I said, because we're sold a bill of goods as a people. So I said, what about Victor, I think. And he made the gagging.
Doesn't have the best reputation. I didn't even know that.
No. And my brother was collecting them.
Yeah.
But he said, the G-Shock watch. I
those are very popular. Casio?
Casio?
Yep.
He said, it's a great watch.
Very popular. Yeah.
$80, great watch. He says.
Yeah.
He says. So I say, how do you decide what watch one should wear? And he says, depends on what they want it for.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want it as a knockaround watch, and this is what you get. If you want it as a dress fancy watch, this is what you get. And he said the truth. He said, if you go to anybody, and you say, tell me one luxury watch brand, everybody's going to say
Rolex. Yeah.
And and he said, they paid their dues. Mm-hmm. Obviously, James Bond wore a Rolex for the longest time, and then I think he went to Omega in his later movies. But being a James Bond fan, it was like Oyster Perpetual, Rolex Oyster Perpetual. But again, he said some people need travel. They need watches that have time zones in different places. So you just never know.
You never know.
And that's why you go to a place face to face.
Yeah. And that's why you go networking. Like, I would have never known that there was a watch shop like the Watch Aficionado if it wasn't for networking events.
That's right.
Right. So I think that's probably the big picture. What we're, because we're not just talking about watches. We're talking about all the cool things you can explore in Port St. Lucie and on the Treasure Coast. There's a whole world out there. There's so many interesting business owners and businesses and opportunities. I encourage everyone to check out your YouTube channel. When I'm at the gym, I'll listen to some of the interviews you do just to learn. You know,
you listen to it. I don't listen to what I say.
I know. You know, well,
most people. Like,
it's a good way to learn about the town.
If you right, because I've already done it.
Because nobody
with
else
them.
is really doing that. You know, where they're doing short interviews of business owners, and to me, that's what I'm interested in learning about. I want to hear, what are business owners struggling with? What are they doing? What's working? What's not working?
Right.
And you have covered probably more than anybody else throughout the Treasure Coast.
I think we've done, well, since I've been in business, I've done somewhere in the high 70,000 interviews. And I've interviewed a bunch of celebrities also and business people. Reviewed a lot of restaurants, reviewed tons of theater. I don't do any sports. We did interview Hulk Hogan, and we did the NFL draft years back. But we built the studio around entertainment. And that's what interests me. But as an entrepreneur that started a business that didn't exist, I was always excited to talk to people who do things, because the philosophy for me is, if you're an entrepreneur, you got to be a little crazy. If you're an entrepreneur with a brick and mortar, you got to be more crazy. And if you're an entrepreneur with a brick and mortar that's in the food industry, you're really crazy. Yeah. Okay? And we've seen some food places that have come and gone and that had really good food. Okay? But it's a tough industry.
It's a tough business.
Okay? Yeah. And most people think us entrepreneurs are making $1 billion. So we make about $1.70 an hour. Okay.
When you calculate the number of hours.
Yeah, because it doesn't end.
We're working.
You know, when I finish this interview, it's not like I'm done.
Right.
It's Edgar's sitting here doing what he's doing, then he's got to go and make sure all the bills are paid and take care of all this behind the scenes stuff. Everything that I break, he has to fix. So and then he shows me how to use it, but I can't remember anyway.
It looks like Danny wants to come in on Thursday. So Dan,
yeah, that didn't happen. I'm graduating Thursday. Okay. Sorry, Danny.
Danny, you'll
got to have your priorities.
You'll have to schedule with
yeah,
Wayne.
you got to go with Freya actually.
Yeah, with Freya.
But you can call me because you have my number, and I'll set you up a time. But Thursday ain't happening. 10 months of leadership. I'm graduating.
Congrats. And then Dennis Walsh is here. He says hi. Hey, Dennis. What's up? So yeah, this has been great. I really didn't know what to expect. This was the first time we did a live stream on location, but I think it worked out really well. And we'll definitely make a regular habit of just getting out in the community and doing these types of educational, informative live streams whenever we can.
And have fun.
Yeah.
You got to have fun with it. Otherwise, the stress of business, being an entrepreneur, can kill you. I already had 2 strokes and a heart attack and triple bypass. I'm still alive. For me, I think that you got to laugh and have a good time. Yeah. And that's most important to me. And you got to invite food people on the air with you, because they always bring food. And
right.
Those are my favorites. I didn't even... Look. I got him here. You think he bought a shirt? No, I have to wear this shirt. Now, I'm not wearing... You don't see me wearing a Port St. Lucie Business Club shirt, because he didn't bring me one.
I'll get you one.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just busting on you, because I control the mic and the boards. So I can do what I want. But we're kind of running out of time. We got to probably... What do we got? Another 13 minutes? 12 minutes? Yeah, we got about 12 minutes for an hour. Okay, so you came here. How long did you think we'd be on? How long do you do podcasts for?
When I used to do podcasting, we would do an hour show. Yeah, and sometimes it would run a little bit long.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have nothing important to say, so we can cut it off at an hour.
Yeah. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you about, which is why you probably see the title on whoever's watching it says YouTube marketing. We didn't really know what the topic was going to be, but I wanted to ask you for some YouTube marketing tips to share with our audience, because we have a lot of folks who want to do more with video marketing. We talked in a recent live stream about how to create short form content, TikTok, Instagram Reels, all that stuff. But YouTube, we didn't really get that much into YouTube, and I know you've done a lot of work with YouTube. So what tips do you have for people that want to build up their YouTube channel?
Okay, so first, don't believe the BS about every video has to be short. Because if I buy a washing machine and I need to hook it up and I don't know how to, and I go to YouTube, I'm not going to watch a short video. I'm going to watch an hour video and maybe watch it 16 times till I can get it right. YouTube is one of 2 houses. There's Vimeo, which is like YouTube, and YouTube. YouTube, more people go to YouTube than anywhere else.
It's the number 2 search engine in the world, right?
Okay, so my recommendation is do a video on YouTube and then share it on Instagram, Twitter, or wherever else you want to share it. Because when you post something on Facebook at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, when I get home at 9 at night or 7 at night, I'll never see it because it'll be all the way in the bottom. So you can then, if you did it on YouTube, you can then post a link and then post the link at 9, and you'll always have it. It'll save it for you. More professionally, I think, and Edgar can tell me if I'm right, if Vimeo gives you a lot more control than YouTube, right? YouTube used to be ridiculous because you can steal video off of YouTube. Now you can't copy off of YouTube anymore. I don't think all those programs don't work anymore. So they've kind of come into reality. The good thing about YouTube is YouTube, if you're a videographer or someone doing video and you want to stay on top of it and you do a video with somebody, you can actually, if they steal your video, you can copyright claim it or copyright strike it.
Yeah.
So, and a couple of strikes and you can shut down their channel. So you have to really kind of be careful. But YouTube is just, I look at YouTube as a house. So I put things up in my house, and then if people want to watch it, fine. And then, you know what? I'll go through YouTube maybe 6 months down the road, and I'll go back to something that I did 6 months ago, take the link, and then copy that link onto Facebook. But you can house everything in YouTube. And that's the biggest benefit of YouTube. Now, if you're going to use YouTube for marketing, if you're using YouTube for marketing, then you got to focus on it. You got to get subscribers. You got to get views. And not the easiest way, because there is no easy way to do anything, is to, if you have the time, to do emails and push it out there. If you don't, then you want to get a professional to do it. You want to put keywords and SEO on your YouTube videos if you're using it for your own channel, your own marketing. We manage a bunch of channels, and it's a full-time job to manage a channel.
I'm sure, yeah.
So sometimes it pays to hire somebody. You know, I always say you can't be a brain surgeon and a proctologist. Pick what you want to do and do it, okay? Or get someone to do it for you. Yeah. But YouTube, video content has been king forever. Video content is king of kings. Short form video, meaning those little reels, that's for fun, okay? You're not going to learn much off of something that's 30 seconds.
It's a good way to get your brand out there and sort of give people a taste of what you do, but it's hard to get that to convert into business.
Right, but now things like Facebook, if you do a longer video, it'll give you a spot to convert them to reels and trim them down. So it's always good to have a long video and cut it back, then have a short video.
You can do that on YouTube as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you can cut them into YouTube Shorts.
And having a short video, you can't make it longer. So you better off having a long video and making it shorter. So definitely has its value.
Yeah.
Okay, to have a house that holds all your stuff. Okay, whether it be Vimeo or whether it be YouTube.
But wouldn't you agree that with YouTube, there's more search traffic? So for the average business, that's probably the best opportunity for their place to house video.
There are some things that you don't really need to be out there. The videos that you want to work with. Okay, here's a great example. Someone comes in here and does a video. We want to, before they decide that they want to purchase it, but they want the bosses here, their wife. And we proof it. And then instead of throwing it onto our YouTube channel, we put it on Vimeo and send them the Vimeo link, which is not downloadable. Okay? And good to go that way. And then we can release it on Vimeo if they want to do whatever they want with it. Okay? So sometimes Joe's Bagels might come in and do an event. Hey, can you film the event? Well, that doesn't belong on my YouTube channel. So we film it, we upload it to Vimeo, we release it to them to download. Right. You can't do that on YouTube.
Because it'll get all cluttered.
Well, you can't do it on YouTube because you can't download off YouTube, if I'm correct. So I can't do a video, I can't do an event of yours, okay, and then put it on YouTube, and then
So for your
you.
industry, Vimeo
both.
sounds like a good platform for the ability to let people download it. But then
Right.
YouTube's where it's going to get the most exposure.
Right. So if someone comes in and they want a copy, so we air it the following Thursday. We leave it up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, but we send them a copy on Vimeo so that they can download it and have the file. So everything has its path to use. People say Facebook. Again, I go through fits and starts about Facebook. The truth of the matter is, we all understand that the internet is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Every adult understands it's a blessing and a curse. The kids don't. And I don't know if you know it, and I don't know if I'm going to get it right, but we'll try. New law states that anybody under 12 is not allowed to access a bunch of sites that the country thinks they shouldn't do. If they do, it's a $50,000 fine for the site.
Wow.
That they didn't.
I did not
check
hear
yet.
about that.
Yeah, that just came about. I think Toby Oberdorf was the one that came up with that. The panel for the legislative update wrap-up came up with, told us that whole scenario. There's a 10,000, and I don't, again, I hate to say it because I don't know if it's right, but if I know that you let your kid go on a site that they shouldn't go on, it's I think a $10,000 fine against you. Now you have to be able to prove it, I guess.
Right.
But at least it's a starting point. And somebody also posted, you're not giving your child access to the world, you're giving the world access to your child.
Interesting.
So as a survivor of sexual abuse, as I am, I know how it was. Now it's easy. Human trafficking and sexual abuse and predators, it's like a candy store. Okay? So you really have to be careful with your kids.
Definitely.
The internet's really, really dangerous. YouTube and those more popular sites, well, I don't want to even say it that way. YouTube, some of those sites, and Vimeo are a little more careful than a Snapchat, okay, and some of the other sites, and some of the things that they get away with. Well, TikTok is owned by the Chinese, and that's a whole other story that's going on now in the country, and people can read up on that. We're talking about stopping the Communist Party of China is the one that owns that and controls it. If they sell it, then they'll let them keep it in the country here. If they don't, then they're going to ban it in this country. So
it's a heavy topic.
A heavy topic. But we're at the top of our time. I want to thank everybody for coming on. You can say goodbye to this group of people.
This has been fantastic. Thank you for everyone who joined us. Thank you for all the comments, the questions. Ben, Ezekiel, Sammy, Danny, Dennis, Oksana. I think that's everybody in the chat. We'll definitely be doing this more often, and come out to our next Port St. Lucie Business Club networking event, which is on May 16th at 7:45 a.m. at Golf Galaxy in Tradition. The details will be in our Facebook group. And thank you, Wayne.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you then.
Bye.